Do we need to do any mic checks here before we start? Is everybody good? Are we all ready? All right, good morning. Thank you guys for waiting patiently. My name is Ryan Shea. I'm the sheriff here in Freeborn County. I'd just like to read a brief statement here. The Freeborn County Sheriff's Office has worked in partnership with U.S. ICE, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, since 2009. That's when we began holding ICE detainees under an intergovernmental service agreement. In March of this year, we had an ICE inspection of our Freeborn County Adult Detention Center, and that inspection returned 0 findings. Our facility has always performed well on these inspections, and we have outstanding staff who work hard to serve our community. I genuinely care about serving my community, and I volunteer in various ways. Our jail administrator, Mike Stasko, who's here with me today, also cares about people. He works diligently to ensure that staff, inmates, and detainees have good conditions, whether that means positive working conditions for our staff or good living conditions for our inmates. We provide access to medical care, quality meals, activities, programming, and recreation. While we don't provide a lavish living environment, the people in our care are treated with human dignity and the respect that all people deserve. I was contacted yesterday, Thursday, October 2nd, by Omar Jamal. I've never met him or spoken to him before that. He told me that since his release from our facility just a few days ago, he has been inundated with media trying to pressure him into making statements that our facility was run with less than proper care and conditions. He asked me to call this press conference so that he could stand next to me and refute those claims. He wanted to let the media and the public know that our facility is well run. He wants to express his opinion that our staff is top-notch and that the people in our custody are well cared for. I will now turn it over to Omar. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Omar Jamal, and I've been dealing with you guys for the last 20 years, and some of them actually for the last few days were in front of my building. And I'm here to set the record straight. Just like Ryan said, I don't know him. I never talked to him. I never met him. I came to this facility 29th of last month, and I'm here to state the fact that my short-time experience, I observed the situation inside, and I looked at the behavior and the professional conduct of the deputies that work in the facility, through which I can conclude the ethics and the moral of the leadership of the Sheriff Department. I have seen nothing that really make me go crazy. I've seen people who deal with inmates with kindness, professional. And I also want to state the fact that some people would like to think that if someone is brought here, they fall into a black hole. No. We had an access to medical care, recreation, programs, and above all, what I've noticed really is that everyone was given access to a cell phone to contact the outside. Human rights advocate lawyers were coming to the facility. The basic tenets of the law of this country, which is due process, is at work. Nobody is shipped to Siberia and never heard from. So basically, and I know you guys have lots of questions. I'm getting lots of emails, lots of phone calls. Today I came here simply to state the fact that what I have seen is a system at work with people doing their job with professionalism, and in humanly way, feeding them, giving them access to lawyers, scheduling courts, giving them access to medical care. Yes, Ryan doesn't pass the laws. He's not a legislator. He's a law enforcement agent. If anyone wants to change the law, they go and talk to the Senate or the House or Congress. And we can disagree. Reasonable people sometimes disagree. But what I'm here today to tell you is that the leadership of Ryan, through which I've noticed his debuts at work, profiling them, watching them, observing them. You know, how do they contact with people? And by the way, we're all humans, and we're entitled to our own dignity and rights. So I would like to give you the opportunity to ask questions, but I will remind you that I know you have lots of questions. But my purpose here today is solely to focus on the wrong narratives that people would like to talk about the work and the service the sheriff department in this county provides in this constituency and in Minnesota in general, and people, their inmates. And believe me, if Ryan is bound by the frame of the law and the Constitution. He's not outside that frame. And you know me for a long time. I call out people when I feel like they are in violation of basic law or rules or regulations. Because after all, we live in a country of law. We're not living in a country of men. This is a country of law. And the fact that I'm standing right in front of you today speaks in volume that the law is working. You know, that the law is working. Yes, governments and institutions are not run by angels. They're run by humans, and we're all entitled to our own shortcomings. And there's always room for progress. And I will continue giving my opinion and my feedback to Ryan and his administration in this county. And I would like to conclude my remarks and welcome any questions you guys have.
Mr. Jamal, would you mind going over what the day-to-day looks like for you while you were in this facility?
Day-to-day, wake up in the morning, have a breakfast, and programs, the library. I think it's run by the lady called Judy, if I'm not... Jody. Jody takes us to library, books available. I learned and I read the history of Albert Lee. To me, it was very educational. And sometimes it crossed my mind even moving to Albert Lee. And then we go back. If you can believe it, then we have a lunch, and then we go out for soccer. We play games, soccer, basketball. We come back. We have access to a shower all the time we want, clean clothing, professional debuts at work, very respectful, and I witnessed people going to a court, to a judge and lawyers. I have seen human rights advocates group coming there. I have seen people from churches visiting, having roundtable discussion. So it was pretty much very decent. You know, by the way, I'd like to remind you, it was not a hotel, okay? I wasn't staying in Sheraton Hotel, okay? But in spite of all that, it was basically the best I can recall. My daily routine process is that.
And Mr. Jamal, you mentioned that you've been getting contacted a lot about people's speculation about conditions inside the facility. Why do you think this is such an object of interest for people who are trying to get in touch with you?
You mean the media?
Is it yeah, I guess just members of the media who've been contacting you?
Well,
Is there a specific rumor that you think has been particularly harmful throughout this process?
Me, you mean the facility was harmful?
For the facility, I guess.
Well, I guess we are living a very interesting time. It might be a curse, but the fact Ryan entered contract with ICE to facilitate the process. Some people tend to disagree with that, which they have right to do it. But you don't have rights to facts. You can have an opinion. But having been there, saw it, I haven't seen anything that's out of line. Ryan and Sheriff Department here found themselves in this, and they welcomed it, and I applaud them for that, and also more so how they perform their duties and their work, how they respect the people, how the people are going through the system, how due process is working. Nobody is shipped to undisclosed location. They have access to court, they have access to lawyers, and I hope that we will be able to live together and disagree without wishing some other person ill, you know. I remember Dr. Benjamin, when he was coming out of the hall in convention in Philadelphia, an old lady come up to him and she said, "Ben, what did you give us?" His response was, "Republic, if you can keep it." Okay? So what I'm saying basically is, what I've seen is totally the opposite. And for the life of me, I cannot, at the end of the day, I have to live with myself. No matter how much I disagree with Ryan, but I have to say that the fact that he's doing an excellent job. And the behaviors and conduct of the deputies I've seen reflects the leadership.
Could you share more on the settlement, on what ultimately that decision looked like, so that way you were released? Is there anything that you could share about the settlement?
Well, I think that was an open information through the media, what the process, and I don't think so. I have anything to add to that, but it is information out there. What really makes me, well, I don't think so. In today's world, nothing surprises me. Okay, some social media is circulating the fact that I was released to testify other people. You know, funny thing is to testify other highly elected officials. You cannot make things up like that. And I have learned that if I try to run after everything on the social media and try to prove it wrong, I will definitely go crazy. So the policy I really adopted is just to ignore it. But the process I've gone through, what happened through federal level, through the judges and through my lawyers, everything, Pioneer Press, Star Tribune, Journal, Fox News, Carry 11, Associated Press, Yahoo News. I stopped reading them. I just you know, I just want to keep my sanity.
What could you say, do the conditions of your release involve like check-ins or what is my understanding?
Check-in?
Check-in, like what are the conditions of your release? Check-ins with USCIS?
It's ongoing, the discussion right now.
Can you reveal any more details about that discussion at this time?
No, which media are you from?
I'm the Star Tribune.
You've been writing about me lately.
Not me personally, but I believe the Star Tribune has, yes.
Okay. We in conversation with the Star Tribune about some of the narratives they've been publishing. But at this time, I'm not in a position to further comment of that in details. Thank you.
Do you know, how did you end up at Freeborn instead of like Sherburne, just closer to the Twin Cities? Was that?
Well, I think that question, you better ask that to ICE. I don't pick and choose where I end up, That's not for me to speculate.
You talked about the treatment you received here and how well you feel it went. Can you talk about what your plan is now? What are you doing? I know you can't elaborate on the conditions of the release, but what are your plans now exactly?
I'm back to work. I've been
Is that for Ramsey County?
Ramsey County Sheriff. I was back to work right away, and we deal with community engagement unit, drug addicts, educational opiate overdose, gangs educating the parents, juveniles thinking that they are teenagers. If they break into vehicles and stole something, they will not be arrested. So we have to reach out their parents. So I'm back to work, and I cannot guarantee what's going to happen tomorrow. But as for now, I'm back to my office.
And I understand that the case you were detained for with ICE is sort of a follow-up to a case from back in the early 2000s. How does it feel to, I guess, be putting this behind you and getting back to work?
It feels it feels good, but I have still a long way to go. And you're right, it was a long time ago, and since then I've done I'm been many different places. I've worked in New York. I lived in Manhattan for 7 years. I was working at the United Nations. I came back, and I and the feds have been dealing with each other for the last 20 years. And I would encourage you to buy my memoir, which is coming up, about what happened. I've dealt with, I believe, Debbie Peirce, Paul McCabe, Thomas Hebelfinger, Ralph, FBI directors, U.S. attorneys in New York, in Minnesota. How do I feel Minnesota nice? All of that, I think it will come out in my memoir.
You said you're back to working. As far as you were aware, are all of these legal troubles behind you at this point?
It's work in progress.
When you were initially detained by ICE, I guess what was your feelings about that original detention?
Well, my immediate reaction, I asked them, and they told me, and then I understood, and then basically what I did is follow their instruction. What do you want me to do? I did not resist. I did not talk back. I said, just go ahead and do your job. And that's how I deal with them.
Were you surprised about the arrest? I mean, this 2005 situation has been around for a while. There's been orders after it. I guess were you
Yeah.
surprised at why in 2025?
Yeah, I was surprised. Yes.
Did you see, so DHS, when this all happened, they gave us all a comment saying that there's like 3 counts of fraud against you, domestic abuse order, they were citing all that as the reasons. Did you see that? Did you have a response to that?
Actually, that's one of the things we're dealing with the Star Tribune. They actually, I noticed an article published by Banner Press. The reporter said that we checked his criminal record and all we see is ticket violations. I don't know if you see the article. Star Tribune keep repeating that. My lawyers reached them out. They said that they emailed ICE and Tennessee, if you can believe it, and they were in response. And then they still printing it without even getting any response. And I cannot control the media. They can write whatever they want. But I don't know anything about 2 frauds. I don't know anything about assault they mentioned. I don't know where did that happen. But I think that's something we're looking into it, and we're in touch with the Star Tribune.
There is a high level of interest in what's happening in these facilities. Would you be able to talk about like just your room and where you slept and details about what that looked like?
In general, actually, it was, like I said, I was not staying in Sheraton Hotel. This is a detention facility.
Was it a cell or was it?
No, it wasn't cell. It was I don't know how to put it. A bank. You know, it was double beds next to each other, and also I have to mention the fact that there is also we're given the right to exercise anybody's religious beliefs. We were able to pray in the facility. Next to me, there was an Indian guy praying. Next to me, there was a Christian guy praying. There was a Muslim prayers there. So it was, I was amazed that how people have the ability to exercise their faith and all of that. So in overall, I really admire the leadership of Ryan, and I hope he will continue that. And they have access to lawyers, due process, human rights advocates, all of that. I've seen people come back, go to courts, coming back. So it was, in general, not bad.
You mentioned that law enforcement has treated you well during this case. In your interactions with other detainees, has that been a similar experience?
Well, yes.
Had any issues with other detainees?
Not that I know of. Not that I'm aware of.
And you mentioned there was some concern about misinformation with how people were reporting on the initial arrest with ICE. Just to make sure we've got our facts straight, I guess, how was it explained to you, the reason for why you were being detained now for that case back in?
Well, the only thing they told me that I was going to Canada. You know, Omar, you're going to Canada. I said, let's go to the airport. Well, we have to go through a process. Okay, let's go through the process. So I understood right away, and then I just abide by their process, and I ended up here, and then I came out, and that was it. Because it's very easy in today's world to spread a false narratives and to mislead people. And because of the technology, because of TikTok, social media, everything, okay? And that's why the fact I came here today to speak the fact of my experience in this facility. But anyone has any right to believe whatever they want, you know.
Having gone through this experience yourself, I guess could you comment on just how you feel about ICE detentions and what's going on across the country in regards to
Not really. It is. That's one of the things I'll be able to write about. But our government is shut down now, as you know. The federal government is not operational. The country is basically divided, and we shall see what happens. But I'm not now in a position to comment that.
Is the government shutdown affecting the settlement process for you at all? Have there been any delays in your case?
I have not been advised that. I don't know. I don't know.
Are you worried about being able to stay in the country at this point, or are you feeling good about your position to stay here?
I'm feeling good about my position. Actually, they stuck with me. They don't know what to do with me, but I don't have any worries.
And I don't know, I heard this was a joint press conference, so I don't know if Sheriff Hsu would be open to answering a quick question, but it seems like with a lot of recent ICE arrests where someone ends up in Freeborn County, there's a lot of speculation. Do you feel as though a lot of people are asking a lot of questions to you about federal policy you guys don't have a lot of control over? Why do you think a lot of that is being put on your sheriff's office and the county jail?
I've never been asked why somebody's in detention. That's not up for me to decide. We simply house as an extension of our contract with ICE to house people. We have nothing to do with why people are housed, and I don't ask any questions on that. And they are in the custody of ICE when we get them, or they're not. So there's really nothing for me to talk about that. The speculation has come to the conditions that we have here in Freeborn County, which is why I was more than excited to have Omar come and help explain. I know that we've had different groups, religious groups or media groups that wanted to bring cameras into our facility to film what the conditions are. And just with security risks, we can't accept that. We're not going to have people videoing inside of our facility. But Omar had 30 days or better in our facility, and he's a good one to explain what's going on. We have quality people working for us, and we take care of people.
For someone to have been in the facility and now hearing all of these rumors as you have about what it's like, to come to you and say, I want to dispel this, what is that like for you as sheriff and a leader in this county?
It brings me great joy. I take pride in serving our community. I try to instill certain qualities into the people around me to show them my personal beliefs and how I care for people. And I'd like the people that work underneath me to do the same thing. And so I'm happy to hear that is what's happening. That it's not just, that they're telling the boss that they're doing good, but to have somebody from the inside actually come in and saying, yeah, they are doing a good job. So it makes me very happy to hear that.
And just so we have our dates correct, what was the date that you left the facility?
I think, to the best of my recollection, September 29th. Yeah.
I guess a question for the director of the actual facility, if you're open to it. How have you felt about some of this speculation and misinformation that Mr. Jamal has been talking about?
Well, again, Ryan, you basically said what same thing I would say. We both try and work very hard to treat people like the right way. I've spent my life in service in one way or another to this country or to this county, and I take a lot of pride in that. And so we work very hard to treat people the right way. I think if like my son was in jail, how I'd want him to be treated. Yeah, he made a mistake, but that doesn't make him a bad person. Just means, we got to reach out and help that person out, and we want to help people up, so we want to make sure that people don't come back in this situation. So when we hear somebody from the inside who's been in our jail come out and say the good things that he has to say about us, of course that's going to make us feel good. Anybody else would feel the same way at their job if someone said, hey, I read this article, it was outstanding, this person really listened to me. or whatever, you guys would, I think, would take a lot of, like pride in that. So it's the same thing, like here for us. So that's all I can say about that, I guess. So, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for coming here. I guess that kind of ends everything. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.
I guess one sort of follow-up question for you.